From the Oklahoman newsroom, this is an OSU update. I'm Jenny Carlson. Well, it's finally game week. Lots of anticipation about Oklahoma State. Scott Wright joins us on the phone. And Scott, one of those areas that I think has fans really excited to see how things look on Thursday night against Tulsa is this wide receiver group. And in Tuesday's Oklahoman and on newsok.com, you explored the question of whether Tyron Johnson could maybe be a breakout star, another name in that wide receiver core. Why is he a guy that maybe could emerge even among that really talented wide receiver group?
Well, for one, you just look at the skill set, and he is a total package type of receiver. He's got the speed to go deep, the hands to make plays. He's got some shake in him. He can make some moves and make guys miss. In fact, talking to Mason Rudolph and some of the guys, they say that he's probably the best of their receivers at making guys miss when they're in front of him. So that's going to be a unique thing that they've got on some of those shorter routes. He's a smart player, a good route runner. He's had a year in the system. That's the thing that it's really going to benefit him as opposed to like a graduate transfer who comes in and has to try to pick it up and get out there on the field. But he's had a year in the system, sitting out after transferring from LSU, and so not only is he excited to get on the field, he's been desperate for this for a year because he had to sit out now after playing as a true freshman at LSU. So and that's another thing. This is a guy that's got some SEC on-field experience. So he comes in with a lot of tools that are really going to benefit him, and then you add the fact that he's got all the skills that made him a five-star recruit out of New Orleans when he was coming out of high school, and he's a really intriguing player, a guy who has meshed well with this offense, gets along with the guys. Everybody's been talking about this receiver group for so long, and it's mostly because of the guys who are proven, guys like James Washington, Chris Lacey, Marcel Aitman, even though he was out last year. But this is a guy who has a chance to jump in there and really kind of climb his way up and get heavily involved in this offense, be a big play threat, and I think legitimately has a chance to be a star.
Well, Scott, you mentioned the fact that he went to LSU. He was a former five-star recruit out of high school. There aren't many five-stars out there. We know that those guys don't get those rankings without being very talented. And while he didn't have a ton of catches at LSU, the ones he did have are pretty highlight worthy. It seems like that may answer the question of what he'd like to do more of at Oklahoma State, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was interesting as I went to do some research on this kid. I start out going to YouTube and I watched this highlight video, and he's got a couple of plays where he gets open deep for touchdowns. He's got this one-handed catch on the sideline. He's got a catch underneath where he makes some guys miss and gets some extra yardage. And then a few others, where he ran some nice routes and got open. And so I'm like, man, this kid must have had a heck of a year. I go and look, and he had 9 catches. I'm like, I think I just saw them all, and I was pretty impressed by all 9 of them. So yeah, this is a guy who, he really wanted to go play in this type of offense. This is like Oklahoma State has. This is what he ran in high school with, 4 wide stuff. But the draw of LSU, there being a New Orleans boy, it was just so much that he decided he wanted to give it a shot. Spent a year there and figured out that wasn't going to be what he wanted to, the offense that he wanted to be in for another 3 years. So he figures out where he wants to go, lands at Oklahoma State, and has a chance to be really good for a couple of years here for Oklahoma State.
Well, we'll get a chance to see him for the first time in Cowboy Orange and Black on Thursday night. That game time is 6:30 against Tulsa, broadcast on Fox Sports 1. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.